Hi everybody, it's Ed back with another important and exciting video. Maybe, sort of, kind of. Anyway, I wanted to show you guys what I periodically have to do every now and then. And I think we all do this. What we do is we look at our charts and we start looking at, we start off with a bear chart and we start adding stuff to it to see if we can catch the turns, the highs and the lows and the pivots and the turns. And then we get something that, we have a relatively clean chart. Then we get something that looks kind of like this, which is, there's lines and all kinds of stuff on this chart. And it's like, okay, what is this and what is that? And, what is all this stuff? Then you get a chart that looks like this and you can hardly read it because there's so much junk on it that you really, you're either really having to focus and then you miss stuff. Then you'll be missing things. You'll be getting in the wrong places, you'll be missing things, and there's just too much stuff on the chart. Okay, it makes it extremely hard to read. And then you want to show this to somebody, and they go, "Oh my God, my eyes have just exploded because there's so much stuff on this chart. I can't interpret it." Okay, so what I wanted to do is just kind of build up a chart from scratch. And this is the S&P. This is a Delta 250 volume chart. And okay, so at the end of the day, your chart looks like this, which is sort of kind of almost untradeable. So not quite, but almost. So let's go to something. Let's clean up this chart. Let's just start out with a completely blank chart, shall we? Okay, there we are. Completely blank chart. Delta 250 volume chart. I have found that the 250 Delta volume chart works really well on the S&P to show price movement during the day. During the evening, like Globex, I use like a 75 Delta volume, but a 125 or 250 Delta volume works pretty well. So, how do we build this puppy? Okay. Well, first of all, a lot of people like to deal with or like to trade price action. Okay. And I don't necessarily trade price action, but I use it on my charts because it comes in really handy to figure out reversals and look for patterns and stuff like that. And I use a system called the Strat. And the Strat, I'm not going to go into it. You can search the Strat on Twitter or whatever. It was brought up by a floor trader named Rob Black, and it's been expanded. Sarah Strat Sniper and a bunch of other people have gone into this thing and basically really fleshed it out. Rob was doing before he passed away. He was doing a lot of videos and things on it, and trying to show people how to trade with it. Okay. Let's see, what time is it? 15:11. So 15:11 at 3 o'clock. What I usually do between right around 3 o'clock or so, what I'll do is I'll step down to like a 125 Delta volume chart, and I can do that right now. A 125. The reason why is because see all these big bars over here. I can't, you can't trade those. I mean, that's maybe a couple of points, but you're gonna have to keep your stops back. Okay. Now I've got it to where it's a little bit more manageable. Okay. Let me straighten that out a little bit. So it makes it a little bit more manageable. So where you can see like little turns and things. So if you're gonna scalp it, you can do that. Okay. So at the end of the day, but during the day, in the daytime, I'll usually use it on like a 250 Delta volume chart because it gets me into less of this whipsaw stuff. Now, let me put the Strat on there. Oh, that was really interesting price action there at 2 o'clock. So So we'll go to the end of the chart and we'll sit here and watch it. So I've got a study collection that shows me not only the strat, but it puts arrows where high probability turns would be, high probability patterns. And again, you can see any of these guys on Twitter. You can search for the strat, and you can find just an absolute ton of resources on the strat that shows you what it is, how to trade it, how to make money with it. And guys are using it on all kinds of different instruments. They're using it on stock, they're using it on futures, they're using it on Forex, all, commodities, oil, crude oil, gold, all kinds of stuff. So I can't suggest it enough, except that I can't trade price action in and of itself, okay? Because I'll just sit here and flip all day long. And I want to, I want to get into these, one and done, 2 and 3 trades, that sort of thing. I don't want to sit in front of a chart all day long and sit here and trade. So let me go ahead and put that on the chart for you real quick and show you what that looks like. Okay, this is what the strat looks like, and you can see these arrows. Okay, I don't have, like if it's a 1 or 2 or a 3 candle. Okay, but I do have relatively high probability entries. You can scalp these for 9 ticks, $100, $100, or you can use it for, in conjunction with other things. You can use it for determining your entries if you're on a larger time frame, if you want to overlay a larger time frame. And a lot of the strat people use it for multi time frame analysis. I don't like that because I just like to look at one chart, okay? But multi-time frame analysis is extremely handy, okay? Well, here we go. We've had a little bit of a trend change here. See where these arrows, the arrow is up here, and then the arrow's a little slightly farther down, and the arrow's a little slightly farther down. Okay, that's kind of a trend change. See these? And you see these didn't really work out that well. So the trend has changed, and you can see that here's an uptrend where your down arrows are farther up, your up arrows are farther up, that sort of thing. So you can plainly see it on a chart, or you can put a zigzag on it, which we'll do here in a second. So I want to start out with a blank chart. Here's the strat, okay? And you could scalp this. You can, you can do all kinds of, you can do all kinds of really cool things with the strat, with a delta volume chart. Let me go back. Well, I can just leave it here. It doesn't really matter. I like the 250 during the day, but I can work with the 125. It's not that big of a deal. If I'm scalping, if I'm going in and saying, you know what, I want $100 a trade. Every time I get a long signal, I'm going to go in for $100. $100, 9 ticks. Okay, and you can see those. There's $100. There's one right there that came back in your face. So it broke right down here. And it came back. That might have been a losing trade. You put your stop at the top of the previous candle for short. So right here, for example, there was a winner. There was an absolute winner. So you would put your stop right up here, okay, because it's higher up than this guy. Either one, basically. But you could put your stop here. There's 9 ticks right there. You get in at the bottom of that candle. Sometimes I like to get in at the body right there, which is at 45.49.50. Some people will wait until it clears, and that's when the arrow will come on. That's what it's programmed to do. 49.49.25. So it's a tick worth of difference, big deal. So it comes on, you grab the trade, and you run it down for 49, say 49.47, I believe that was. And there you go, 49.47. There's a quick $100. Okay, you could take a trade here. I wouldn't cancel that out. Here's another trade. Take the trade there. There's $100 there, $100 there. There's a $300 trade right there. When one contract, you'd fill it. There's one there and there's 2 there, and you just made $300. Okay. Come down here, you could make another 100 right there. If you got into it, keep your stop back right there, and your stop is relative. Your stop's pretty tight. When you look at it, 45.54.25, and your stop would be above 45.54.75. So for all these guys that say, hey, you know, you can't trade with a 1-2, you know, you can't trade with a 3-4-5 tick stop. You got to take, you know, you got to take a two-point stop. Well, this proves that you can do it. This proves you can get in with a very, very tight stop. Okay, so continuing on. Okay, so I have the strat on the chart. I like a little bit more. So what I do is I put my order flow study on, and what it does is it shows me exhaustions at the top and the bottom of the bars. So buying exhaustion and selling exhaustion, which really, really helps. So let me show you that. Okay, so now you've got the green. The green is a selling imbalance. The red is a buying imbalance right here. So if you get theirs, you don't need to use these, but you know it can help. Okay, so I'm gonna pull them off because I'm not going to use them here just for this demonstration. But I just wanted to show you what they look like. Okay, so now we're back to our nice little clean chart, and you could basically trade this chart if you wanted to, but you're not going to get into any long moves, and you're not going to get into any, how should I put it? You're not going to know. Okay, you're not going to know what's going on. Now, see, for example, if I had taken that short trade right there, it came up against me. Okay, I could have gotten stopped out unless I kept my stop back up here, and that's not an unreasonable stop. 45.53, and there's your entry at 45.52.25. That's not an unreasonable stop, guys. That's still pretty darn close. So you could take, you know, if you got hit, you know, it's not very much of a loss. So what you're doing is you're coming back up here and you're just putting it. You can put it at the most recent swing high right there, and then take your trade for 9 ticks. Okay, so to give this some context, okay, I've got price action here. Now I need some context on this. Okay, so I could put, you know, like opens and closes, and I will do that. I've got a basically key price levels, which has, you know, high and low of the day, and open, Globex open, and London open, and RTH open, and that sort of thing, because those are important levels. Okay, so I put those on there. I'll put those on there in a minute, but this will give me some context to what's going on. This is volume weighted average price and extensions to volume weighted average price. Hang on just a second. Let me pause this. Okay, now this is what you got. Okay, this will instantly tell you stuff like, are you in a range? Are you in a tradable range? Okay, like, for example, this is a very tradable range. I mean, you're looking at, you know, right up in here, 45.54 to, you know, about 45.45. It's almost a 10-point range. That's tradable. Okay, I mean, you can make some serious money going back and forth on these things. Okay, now when you get close, like for example, and I'll show you how to. I'm gonna scroll back here in a second. I'll show you how to trade this. And let me change this back down to a 250 volume chart just to kind of show you, because there's like way too many bars here. Okay, and you don't want to get chopped up. So let me switch it back here for a second. Okay, so here's how to trade this puppy. Okay, so you're coming along, you're bebopping along, and it's 9:30, and you're looking at this, and you're seeing, well, you know, we're kind of in a, you know, we're kind of in a downtrend. This is midnight, and you can see there's the daily VWAP. So we're trading below the daily VWAP. So at that point in time, you're only looking for shorts. Daily VWAP, you're trading below it. Daily VWAP is red. Here's your 90-minute VWAP extension. It's red. It's pointing down. Here's your daily VWAP extension and your 90-minute VWAP extensions here. Now, what happens is these 90-minute VWAP extensions are valuable in terms of they can show you a short to intermediate term trading range. Okay, these extensions. Then when they start to broaden out, that's when you're going to start having your momentum moves. Okay, So, for example, 9:30, and I was in another trading room this morning, and there's your 9:30 open. I was in a trading room this morning, and everybody was like, well, you know, it looks like it's, you know, they were starting to talk about 9:45 is trading in a range. Well, you could see that at 9:30, right? If you had this on your chart, you could see these things which are plotted out at 9:30. You can see we're in a range, okay? Well, you can also see that we're in, here's the daily VWAP, we're trading down, so we're short biased, okay? So I'm only going to be taking shorts below this, right? Here's your weekly VWAP, which is pretty important. It tried to poke above it several times, right? It was poking above it pre-market right there. It started above it, and then it hit the daily VWAP and then came down. So sometimes you can disregard that. If you get close to that daily VWAP and you're not doing anything, you know, it's just sitting or waffling back and forth. So you can tell. I mean, you're changing colors. Here's green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red, and then, you know, a little bit of green and red. So you know you're in chop when these guys flatten out and you're trading between those. And this range is like what, 45.46 to 45.52. You know, like a 6 or 7 point range. A lot of people can't trade that. You can scalp it because 9 ticks, $100. If you get a good entry, you can trade this $100 back and forth and make some money in this range, okay? But there's a lot of people, they're not comfortable with it because they really, really are not comfortable trading ranges. They don't know how to trade ranges, okay? That's cool. So what you're doing is, and you can trade this if you want to, just follow the strat signals, okay? You're trading down, you know, say for example down from there 45.50. It's, you know, you're getting a couple of points out of the deal. You're getting one right there. Well, what you're doing is if you're getting into a short, if you're getting into a long, you're aiming for this area up here. If you're getting into a short, you're aiming for this area up here. Okay, so if you're coming down, for example, right, if you took that short right there, okay, that was at 45.50.75. All right, 45.75, 45.51. Okay, you're aiming for this guy. There's your first successful trade. Your stop's way back here. Okay, it came back up a little bit. It touched right there. Okay, on that touch, you could get out. There's your first success. You would be your first successful trade, and it's 45.46. Okay, so 45.50 to 45.46 is 4 points. Okay, a couple $100. Hey, I'm not going to complain about that. You know, if somebody wants to give me $200 free money, here you go. It's basically free money. Okay, now here's another one. I don't like to get in on longer bars, like, you know, and that's not too bad. But this one here, it came back up in your face. You kept your stop. You would keep your stop back up here. I would trade that. I don't like long bars. Like, say for example, here's a nice long green bar. I don't like that because you're trading from, you know, 48.50. You're waiting to get into a trade 48.50 to 46.75. So you're looking at almost 2 points in order to trade that. The delta volume chart is really nice because it doesn't give you a, you know, really big bars unless it's a big move. Okay, you will get combination bars like this, like you see a bunch of red bars there. But again, if you're getting into a bunch of red bars like that, the strat tells you when to take that trade, right? There's your short right there. And you're not necessarily taking longs because you've got your stops way the heck up here. You've already hit this guy, okay? So price usually, not always, usually goes from this 90-minute extension from the bottom to the top, okay? So you could theoretically go long, but I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't go long. And this is all flattened out, okay? This is flattened out. Here's your daily VWAP. You really want to go long? I'm just only taking shorts because I'm trading below the daily VWAP, and price action is trading below both the daily VWAP and the 90-minute extensions. So I'm only taking shorts at this particular point, okay? And I'm targeting this guy, all right? So if I took a short, say for example, I took a short back here, I might have gotten stopped out, maybe. okay? Pre-market. If I had one down here, I would have just, take the money and run. And in this particular situation, see where all these are wrapped up together? They're all wrapped up together. What you do is you can, one way to get out, okay, is the first green bar that closes outside of both of these two, okay? Both those, first green bar closes, bam, you're out. Okay, so you're short up here, bam, you're out up here. You've made money. You're short back up here. If you want to take that 90-minute VWAP trade, that one is a better trade. If you want to take it that way, you can take that. Okay, write it down. As soon as it closes out, you're out. You've made money. Right there, you could trade it back up to the 90-minute VWAP. It all depends how far you are away from these guys. That's a 90-minute VWAP, okay? So just trade up into that. If you want to use it as a target, there's your strat long signal, okay? It's a little riskier trade, but you're getting in about 45.48 and you're getting out about 45.50.75. So you're making your $100. There's a $100 trade right there, okay? There's $100 right there. So if you wanted to trade pre-markets, you could do that. And the strat's very, very, very nice for doing. The strat and a delta line chart's very nice. Okay, so now we see you're starting to break out. Okay, where is your support? Your primary support's right here. Okay, this is your more of a scalping type of support and resistance area. They're pretty close together, right? This and way the heck up here, there's your resistance way up there, okay? You're trading below resistance, you're trading below the daily VWAP, you're trading below all this stuff. So, I'm just grabbing shorts. So if you took this guy, took it off right there, okay? You took this guy, okay? You're not having anything you're not even closing above this, above here. So if you wanted to, if you didn't want to take that as a target, if you're saying, well, I'm starting to see, it's 10 o'clock, we're starting to see a little bit of momentum, a little more volume coming into the market. So I want to trade this. So you take this here, you take that short right there, at that short, 45.48.75, okay? So at 45.48.75 or 45.48.50 actually, it's one tick above it. When you break out of that, here's your breakout trade, guys, for all you breakout traders. You break out and you come down, okay? So you're looking at, say, 45.48.50. There's your target right there. 45.40, that's almost $500. That's almost a $500 trade right there. Bam, right into that. If you're trading two contracts, you take one off there at the top, you take the second one off there at the top, right there. Boom. Okay? So we're still short biased, okay? We're still short biased, so we've got an up, and then right there. We've got a signal right there. You take that sucker. Bam, there you go. Look at that nice long candle. Bam. So you could take it down at the top of there, move your stop loss to break even. If it comes back up here, okay, if you get stopped out of break even plus one or break even, you're out. Okay, you made that money. Okay. So keeps going up, going up, going up, going up. Okay. Now the 90-minute VWAP. So you're waiting. Okay. You might have gotten stopped out, or you could have taken the long signal there. You could have taken the long signal there. That green doji right there. That's not a bad long signal. Okay. You could target first contract off. You target at the swing right here. Second contract off. You target that 90-minute VWAP. What happens at that 90-minute VWAP? Or you could just wait. If you wanted to, you could just wait. If you're not trying to get every flippin' nickel on the table, you could just wait. All right? So, what happens? So, you're up here, and you take the short. You're back up here, okay? You're taking the short. You're still in that short trade, unless you scalp for 9 ticks, and then you come down 9 ticks. Here's one that I'm not crazy about that short right there. I'm not crazy about that one, but it's below the 90-minute VWAP, so you could take it. That's a better trade, where it pops right up above that VWAP and then comes right back down. Okay, so you're in basically up here. Your stop is way up here. So what happens? Here you go. You've got your trade. You did not come here, okay? Now here's one of those cases where you're keeping an eye on this, right? So you broke out of these guys. This guy is above, the 90-minute is above the daily, okay? So, but it's right above it, okay? So you're relatively safe to take longs up into here, up into that 90-minute VWAP, okay? So you take a trade there. Then you could reverse it for a little bit of money. It did not come back down here. Then it starts to reverse off that, okay? It's not able to push down. That's a warning sign that we may have a trend change, okay? So let me, by the way, let me build this chart out for you a little bit more. I need to put this guy on here. Hang on just a second. I'm going to put a zigzag on here. Okay. I've got a zigzag on here, but all I'm doing, all I care about, I don't care about lines, I don't care about any of that stuff. All I'm caring about, are we making higher lows and higher, are we making higher lows or lower highs? That's all I care about, okay? If I'm making higher lows, see, that's the definition of a trend change. I just had a trend change right there. So now I'm looking for longs, right? So I'm long here. I could take my long here. I could take longs here, up into that VWAP. Wait till it drops down, up into the VWAP. Wait till, and then now you could take the long. It's pretty close to that VWAP. So now you're targeting up here, right? So you can target up there. You can get out. Now we had the flip, the trend change. We've had the higher low here. Now the 90-minute VWAP turned around. Now everything's starting to turn back up. This starting to turn back up. That's starting to turn back up. So now we're all long biased, right? We're all long biased. So how do you get out of this? I mean, you're up here. You're looking for something to. You're looking for something to do. You're looking for a sign to get out of here. Okay. You're riding this thing. I was going, man, where's this thing going to end? Okay. What I do when I get a candle body that's completely out of this cloud, this diverged from the 90-minute VWAP extension, you can call it the cloud, whatever you want to call it. I'm looking to get out. Okay, I'm not necessarily looking to take a short, but I am looking to get out. Okay, so now I'm out of the cloud right here. So I might have gotten out down here. I might have gotten out. You can also use the strat as an exit. Okay, there's an exit there, but that's still up in the cloud. So you're not doing anything yet. Okay, so you ride it up. Here's one right there. There's one there where it was out of the cloud. Okay, and then here's one there. Let's see, there's one there. So you get out. Now you're out of the cloud. So now you're short. You're free to take shorts if you want to. Okay, your trend's still up, but what you're doing is you're having this range. You're having this range that you're trading in. Okay, you're having this range. See there, short, down. Okay, it almost hit here. Then you had your, it's pretty close, but you had your long signal right there. Okay, and take it up. Short signal right there. You would be targeting right down in here. Okay, and now we're at 1537. So you've gotten a bunch of different trades. You can trade it for $100 a swing, or you can hold for the bottoms of these. You can hold for the bottoms of the little, the short-term 90-minute clouds if you want to. So as you can see, it usually is pretty good at holding what's going on. It's showing you what's going on. Now, if it's going up, right? If it's going up like this and it's thin, see how thin this is? See how thin this is right here? That's a momentum move right there. That's momentum. So it's very, very thin. Now you're starting to see it's starting to get a little fatter right here. Now here's your trend. Here's your not your trend change, but here is your here's your signal to get out here or here. Get out. pull back. Here's a lower high, right? You could take that lower high. There's a lower high there. There's a strat signal there. You take the short, bam, right back down to the top of that cloud, and you're good to go. So what else have I got on here that's helpful? This chart right here, I mean, you could trade this chart. This is a relatively, it's a relatively clean chart. Okay. I like to put a few other things on the chart. I've got some key levels that I put on here, and I also have a market depth historical graph that I like to put on here. Let me pause this and put that on here. Okay. Now this is really nice for support. I got a market depth historical graph on there. All I'm looking for is 200 contracts. Okay, this is really nice for stuff like here's a nice support level here. Well, what's happened? Look at and this can supplement your the strat and all this kind of stuff. Okay, all your extensions to VWAP. All right, so you're up here. You get a short. You don't have anything up here, and you could just wait, or you could scalp it. You can just wait. Here is where the buyer. There's where the sellers step in, right there, at that 45.50 level, right there. You see them. They step in right there, and you get a strat signal, and you short it. Boom. You go down. There's your target. There's a really nice trade right there. Okay, so you're looking at, that 45.49, 45.49, 45.48 right in there. That level, 49.48, and you could go to 38. You could hold for 38, which it did. Actually, it came down here, and so you got your $500 move right there. Then you could reverse off that. Now you start seeing these guys. There's where people were, just kind of taking, all the institutions that people piled in there. They're going to start taking off right there. Okay, they're going to, it doesn't mean abandon your short trade. It just means I'm going to take, I'm in 20 or 30 contracts here. I'm going to take one off there, 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 one, and one. Okay, so was that 15, 20 contracts? Now they're out and they just made their money for the day, and they're off for an early lunch or go play tennis or whatever, and they're good. Okay. You could also see where people got their stops run right there. You can see those stops there. So where there were sellers, that's where they're buying. So they got out. Nobody in their right mind would buy that candle. There's no way. Nobody in their right. That's got to be stops. Okay. So now, see, we're coming out of the cloud. Now the buyers step in. The buyers step in. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Now, you remember I was saying, looking up here for the turnout for the close out of the cloud. I got a strat signal. What do I have right above me? I got institutional sellers right there, stepping in. Institutional sellers stepping in there. They're stepping in there. They buy it down here. They sell it up here. You have a level down here that they're getting out. Okay. So this is your level right here. Everybody's getting out right down here. Sell, buy. If it comes back up here, they sell it again. Sell it again. Start stacking contracts and then get out here. Then buy it. Then there's your buy signal right there. There's your strat signal. There's your buy, and here's all the institutions came in and bought, and then they're starting to scale out. Because it's getting to be that time. Scale out. Come back up in here. There's your institutional sellers coming in right there. Okay. Now they come in right there. They get out. Some of them get out at that 90-minute VWAP. Okay. And then they get out right there. Boom. There. And you're done. You're done for the day. So I don't think I've got anything else on here that. Okay, I'll put like my key price levels on here, and I think would be done pretty much. I got a bunch of stuff on here. Let me hide that real quick. Okay, some people, I've got key price levels on here. I've got like, okay, here's the overnight high. Here's your high of the day. Here's your overnight high. Here's your Globex open. You know, here's your settlement price, London open, RTH open right here, and as you can see, price kind of rotated around RTH open. The half back. Here's your, and then here's your low. And you've got other stuff. You don't need this. You don't need these to trade. I mean, it just blows people away. But it's like, you don't need to know when the market opens. I mean, you could, you know, but you don't need to. I mean, if you go back and look at this thing, okay, here's RTH open right there, okay. So what happened at RTH? I mean, it's a good reference. There's a good reference point there. Once it traded below RTH open, it tried to push above it and wasn't able to do it, right? And then what happened? That was RTH open, what, 45.50? And then all of a sudden, what happens? All of a sudden, the sellers step in. The institutional sellers step in at that, on that bar at that time. So it gives you a nice, it gives you a little reference point. But I don't like to have a whole lot of crap on my charts, you know? And now it's getting to the point where you're almost getting too much. So guys, you can use this if you want to. It's a nice reference point. If you don't want to, that's cool too. Take it off your charts, but make your charts as clean as absolutely possible. There you go. So I walked you through the strat, using the strat, using VWAP extensions, the 90-minute and the daily VWAP extensions to give you price targets and entries. You've got entries, you've got price targets. The strat gives you some excellent entries, okay, with the delta volume chart. And you got, and here's your targets. You know, you got your entries, here's your targets down here. You can, you know, you can play this however you like. And then the market depth historical graph shows you where people are, where the buyers have stepped in, where the sellers have stepped in. And there you go. I think that's all I got today, guys. If you have any comments, questions, comments, whatever, happy to answer questions. Happy to do any of that stuff for you. So if you find out that you put the strat on your charts and you find out it's a little much because you got all kinds of arrows and stuff, rely on your levels. Rely on your levels right here. That's sellers, institutional sellers. Here's institutional buyers. Here's your 90-minute VWAP extensions right there. And look for the strat signals around those levels, right? And those will get you into some very, very nice trades. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.